Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. My guest this evening is Clinton Police Chief Vince DeMaio. Chief,
Peter,
how are you, buddy?
Always good to be back, my friend.
How are you? What's new?
I am loving it, and I'm here in my shoreline attire.
I know.
Because now I'm a regular on the show.
Exactly.
So I said, should I get all dressed up? After I did a little workout, I went home, took a shower. I said, you know what? I'm not going to get back in the uniform.
No.
Pete takes me as I am.
It's Pete Mezzetti.
That's
so
right.
You
he said it's Pete. We're gonna chill. We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about Clinton. We're gonna talk about the PD. We're gonna talk about a lot of good things. So.
All right. You know where we're gonna start talking about good things. Yeah.
You mean
show it
right here?
Yep.
Our K9 unit being the featured K9 unit in the nationally publicated Working Dog magazine.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. We
Let's
want to talk
about
about
it.
The success of that program has been absolutely phenomenal. Listen, he is approaching 21,000 followers on Instagram right now. 21,000.
Oh
I kid you not.
Holy
this
cow.
dog gets more mail than everyone in the PD combined. And like every single day, he's getting packages in from all around the world, from Hong Kong, from Brazil, from England. You name it, it's coming in for the dog.
Wow.
So it's crazy, and he's a goodwill ambassador for us, and
yeah.
He's a very well trained dog. He does a lot of good work for us. It's a force multiplier for us. He's trained in narcotics detection and tracking and patrol work. Mm-hmm. So he's out there. He's taking drugs off the street. He's helping us find people that are missing. He's de-escalating situations for us that become maybe a little physical, where our officers don't have to engage in the use of force.
Right.
We get suspects to comply with our lawful commands by having the dog just transmit his force or power, mm-hmm. we'd like to say. People respect the dog. When the dog comes out, he starts showing those big fangs and puts a little thing on it. Some people that thought they were going to maybe take a poke at a cop decide they're not going to do it. So
yeah, exactly.
That's helpful for everybody, because listen, if we can accomplish our goals by compliance, that's what we want to do all the time. So it's been a really phenomenal program. He's just been out for about a year now. And
that's right.
It's been exponentially growing and growing and growing, and he's a superstar now.
He is.
There's no way. We have 13,500 people in Clinton, so he's got more followers than every single person in Clinton.
Oh my God.
We'll just keep going with it. And again, that's a program that was, the majority is funded by private donations. Private donations helped us purchase the dog, pay for his training, pays for a lot of the equipment that we use for him. We have a very small budget line item in the municipal budget. It's only about $2,300. Everything else comes from private donations that we need for the program. So, and I'm so proud to say that the majority of those donations were really $5, $10, $20 donations just from regular folks who wanted to support the program.
Exactly.
It's getting to the point now where it's insane. We arrest people, and when we're releasing them, they want to know if the dog's working so they can see the dog.
Very nice.
I kid you
All
not.
Right.
So Sonny's our goodwill ambassador for the Clinton PD, and we got to stop talking about it, because the guys rib me endlessly and relentlessly because I never stop talking about the dog. Because I love the dog. And my wife's mad at me too, because
why?
She goes, you love that dog more than your own dogs. And I kind of do. But he is kind of my dog, right?
Right.
CPD.
Exactly.
Part of the family. So he's a great dog. Jason, Officer Fry, has done a phenomenal job. And it's a 24/7 job.
Of course.
I don't think anybody realizes how much work actually goes into that Jason just constantly is with the dog, working with it 24/7. And now this huge social media component, which has just gotten astronomically large, takes up so much of his time, because he really spends time replying to people. He gets so many inquiries every single day and questions, and he really tries to connect with people and get back and talk to them, and it's very time consuming. So he's newly married. I hope that doesn't make his wife very upset. But
Jason or the dog?
Well,
yeah,
both.
Yeah, there you go.
The dog he can handle.
Yeah,
I mean, his wife's another story. So that's the one that's going to get you in trouble. The dog, you give him a bone or something. He's pretty good.
Exactly. What else?
We have numerous programs going on. Well, let's talk about the Rock. Can we talk about the Rock out front? Because we had an Eagle Scout, Thomas Baker, Troop 7 in Clinton, came to me probably about 8 or 9 months back. Wanted to do a project. I told him we could really use a good sign that would kind of give us a nice shoreline feel, give a little permits to our building, and brand us a little bit. So, we have a new logo that we have on our cars, which is basically the town seal with a little vector through it, and kind of using that to project us moving forward and changing and being progressive. So we started putting a project together, had to go in front of all the municipal boards to get all the approvals, had to put a budget together, and do all the work to get all the things done to get that sign produced. So we were actually able to find the rock up here in Deep River at Hayes, or Haynes. Is it Haynes or Hayes? I'm not sure.
Think it's
But Haynes. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. So they donated the rock to him because it was an Eagle Scout project. So thank you to them. And then DPW did a lot of work. Our Clinton DPW are a great bunch of guys, and they really did a lot of work to get that whole thing done properly. Because it was a big project. So we're very proud that it got done. But we had an empty rock there for about a month before the sign got put on. So instead of being nuts about it, I just said, hey, it builds suspense, right? Everybody says, what the heck's a rock? Why is there a giant rock in front of the PD? People were saying, hey, like the RAM protection you put in front of the building.
Yeah, exactly.
That really wasn't it. So that came out really nice. So, and again, Eagle Scout project, a lot of things that we do and all the proactive programs that we have in place, really, I always try and go out, and I have to go out and find alternative funding streams because, as you know, we do everything by public referendum for our budgeting process, and it's always a very difficult process. This year it took us 4 votes to get our town operating budget passed, and it's very difficult. Listen, and we understand we're stewards of the tax dollar. We understand that people don't want their dollars wasted, and we work very hard to make sure that we're giving you the best we can give you for your money. I pay taxes in the town too, so I don't want to see my tax dollars wasted either. So
no, definitely not.
we don't flush money down the toilet. We make sure that we utilize everything we possibly can. That being said, there's not a lot of money at the end of a budget processing after salaries and benefits and the things that we need to work on. It's probably mostly, I'd say, 80% contractually driven. So all the labor agreements and everything drive the majority of the cost of our municipal budget for policing. All the proactive things that we want to do, we have to go out and find ulterior funding streams, a lot of private funding streams. So i.e. the dog, i.e. Our Narcan program, which was, we got a lot of help from the Lions on that, and they also help us a large portion on our DARE program. So we have 2 officers in DARE training. They just started today. We have 2 new officers in DARE training because that's a big point where we're changing. We have a new SRO coming into Morgan this year. We had Officer Joe Popovich did it for 4 years, and it was getting to be time for a change. So he's actually just been promoted to corporal. He got promoted to corporal. We moved him back into the patrol section, and after we did some interviews and a job search with the school board, we decided on Officer Spencer Mangs to be our new SRO for the high school, and that was a real collaborative effort with school administration and the Board of Education. It was really important for me to understand that what they wanted and somebody that they felt comfortable with. So we had all of our candidates come in to an interview panel and sat down with them, and he was overwhelmingly the choice that they wanted. So he went away for training this, I think, 3 weeks ago for his training as a certified school resource officer. So he's starting on that. He was also one of the members of the DARE program, but I really want him, which we do DARE in Clinton for the 4th grade and for the 7th grade. So I really wanted him to focus on the demographic of the high school students where he's going to be, because you also have the Clinton Police Youth Group, and we get a lot of support from PIC on that. And we did have a state grant of $10,000, which helped us last year, which is no longer available for us. So we're still seeking out some funding to try and continue that, but that's a great program which really focuses on that demographic, which is always the hardest for us to reach, right? Because everybody knows when you're in high school, you want to rebel, you're finding yourself, so law enforcement is kind of the symbol of things that you want to be against, and we want to kind of get past that, especially nowadays. Law enforcement has a bad rap. We get trashed in the media quite often, so we want to make sure that we have an individual in there that understand, that can transmit to the kids that he's here to help, that they can trust, and they can come to with problems and know that the officer's going to help them. So I really want him to expand on that on that level with the kids.
Obviously, it sounds like he's a good fit for the new position of the SRO.
Yeah, listen, and our old SRO did a great job. I'm very fortunate to have him in there. He's a former deputy chief from the city of Cheshire. He retired from there, came to us. He's also a graduate of the FBI National Academy, so it's a rare instance that a chief is able to have someone of that caliber and experience be at the patrolman's level to do that job. So he did a great job, but it's time, the only thing constant in this world is change. And
right.
After about 4 years, we like to mix it up, and it helps everybody else in the organization too. Otherwise, you get stagnant if everybody stays in the same position.
Exactly. Speaking of staying in the same position, you've been with the town of Clinton how long?
2.5 years now.
Say,
yeah, 2.5 years.
This.
It went by really fast.
It did.
It seems like I was sitting in this chair like a week ago when I was just brand new, right? When you had
I remember
me
that
the first time.
I remember having
so
you on
yeah,
the first
2.5 years. It's
wow.
It's been a long slog, and it's a full-time job from my end too. Just like Jason's always with the dog, I am always with this department. It is a full-time, 24/7 job. I say to my wife all the time, I'm like, when I am home, it's for very brief periods of time, and mostly it's when I'm sleeping.
Yeah, right.
So often I'll look around and go, "This is a really nice house. I wish I could spend some time here, honey."
Exactly.
But we're still working on getting command staff. So right now it's just myself is the only executive level officer in the department. We have sergeants are the next rank below me. That's a first line supervisor. So we've given a test, and we have 3 candidates that are eligible for promotion to captain. And we're hopeful we're going to make these pretty soon. We're just working out some things with Town Hall.
Chief DeMaio, would you mind sticking around?
Absolutely.
We'll be right back.
With newspapers and media outlets merging all over the country, communities are losing their local voice.
There's so much going on in the community that I think doesn't really, there's a lot of folks who are unaware of it. And I think things like this can bring it out into the community and in that way kind of bring the community together.
Information and to our residents is the key to good governance. And with the national media and local media not often covering us, this is an excellent opportunity for us constantly to communicate with our constituents and also to have them communicate with us.
The best outcomes will be achieved through a community-based organization that grows its operation and scale by means of locally produced programming.
All of our content is volunteer produced, so we do shows from talk shows to music shows, working with high schools.
VSC-TV is committed to ensuring that the investment made to secure these powerful tools will pay great dividends in the community for many, many years.
And welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show, sitting here with Chief Vince DeMaio from the Town of Clinton Police Department. Chief, welcome back.
Glad to be back.
Well,
Didn't even seem like we were gone for that long.
I know, yeah, we were only gone for about a minute, but
So,
we're back now.
perfect.
All right, so let's talk about opening this segment with, you guys have a brand new boat.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a brand new boat. It's
All
a
right.
refurbished Coast
It's a
Guard boat. It's
all right.
brand new to us.
Right, it's brand
so let's
new to you
clarify
guys.
that because
That's fine. Yeah, we don't want to.
You know how people
irritate
get, they're
people.
like, exactly,
Yeah.
what do we spend all this money for?
Exactly.
I'm very proud of the program. We had a boat for many years. The boat was about 15 or 20 years old,
Okay.
our old police boat. And it wasn't purpose built for our mission. For those of you that know the waters of Clinton know that Clinton Harbor is very shallow. At low tide, you only have a couple of feet. We had a very heavy boat. It was built improperly. It was designed to have 2 outboards astern.
Right.
They changed the design after the hull had been built to an in-out, and it only had 1 propeller or 1 screw, as we say. So if we lost that outdrive or we lost that motor, we had no power.
Right.
We don't go out just on sunny, nice days when most people go out to go fishing or go boating and enjoy the sound. We're going out for rescue missions. We're going out in heavy seas. If we lose a motor, that now puts the fire department and other people in danger because they have to come out and rescue us.
Yeah.
So we decided that, listen, we had an opportunity to buy a refurbished Coast Guard boat. It's a 26-foot Defender class boat, purpose-built exactly for the things that we do.
Mm-hmm.
Going out in rough weather, doing rescue work, doing enforcement work. We have 2 motors, as it should. We could lose a motor and still be able to power ourselves in. And we got it for a great price. I mean, I was able to sell our old boat, which I thought was just going to sell for scrap aluminum because it really wasn't in the best of shape.
Right.
But we put it with a broker at Cedar Island. They did a great job for us. There was only 3 inquiries on the boat nationwide. 2 were from California and 1 was from Alaska.
Wow.
So, I mean, it was a good boat for what these people wanted it for. They wanted to use it as a fishing platform,
There you go.
slow-moving fishing platform in deep water.
All right.
You know, and it was a West Coast boat, so nobody on the Atlantic seaboard wanted the thing at all.
No.
So we were able to sell that boat for $25,000 and put that towards the purchase of our boat, which we purchased for $176,500. So that's our boat. It's all painted up, redone. It's got two motors, a 2015 on it, and we're just putting actually a brand new motor that came with it is going on now. So we'll have 2 motors, and we have 1 as a spare. So in case now, even if we have a catastrophic failure, we can take the boat out of the water for a couple hours, put the spare outboard on, and be back out and be back on patrol. It's got all brand new electronics, fully warranted, and it's got a 3-axle trailer to carry it around as well. So spec'd out new, that boat, and I did spec it out new because I was trying to get a port security grant to see if we could purchase it that way, but no money was coming to Connecticut for that type of equipment. It basically was for hardening of ports where all the grant dollars were going.
Gotcha.
That boat spec'd out at almost $480,000
Wow.
without a trailer,
Holy
without
cow.
a spare motor. So really, it's a platform that's going to last us, for at least the next 10 to 15 years. The boat did its service life with the Coast Guard in Lake Michigan, so it never saw salt water. We have a great vendor in port security out of New Haven. They're very close. We have a close working relationship with them, so anything goes wrong, we have any problems, they're right there, able to come fix it for us. The boat's it's a phenomenal deal, and it's just we're really happy that we got it done. Again, New England way, right?
There you go.
We had an issue, we had to address it, and we made the best of it, and we really got something that's workable and long term for us for a very reduced price by using a little New England ingenuity.
That's a good thing.
So that worked out really well. So we just need the characteristics of the boat are such that we really need to do a lot of training on it.
Yep.
They're so much different from our old boat, so we're in the process now of once we get the boat back in the water again, we need to train everybody up. So this is kind of a hybrid year for us. We're not out as much as we'd like to be.
Okay.
And I'm sure that that's a bit of an annoyance to some people to say we just bought this boat and now we don't have it, but it's imperative that we train everybody to use it properly and safely to its capabilities, and we don't want to put anybody in danger. So I would just ask that everybody just has a little patience with us. We will be out there this year. We'll be out for the fireworks. We'll be out on boating weekends now. We're in a training up program to get more people properly qualified and certified to run the boat. We're going to be working with the Coast Guard and a couple other agencies that have these type of vessels to really work on to be out in the conditions that we have to be out in. And I don't want anybody to operate that boat that can't handle it in rough seas and fog conditions at dark. The things that we have to go out, and we need to know that they are going to be safely able to handle the craft.
Now, I assume that you're certified to handle the boat.
Not yet, but I will be.
You will be?
Hey, listen. You know what? In New Canaan, we were the only town that didn't have a marine unit because we didn't have any salt water. We were landlocked.
Yeah.
We only had a couple of ponds. So
Yeah, I know.
it's all a learning experience, and this is part of being a law enforcement executive. You have to understand, really from the ground up, how these programs run. So I'm always educating myself as to what the best practices are and how things should go, and that's by talking to people,
Right.
going out and running with their unit, talking to different units, finding out where the problem spots are, what are best practices, how can we do things better, and what's the minimum level we should be at, and where should we really be shooting for. Those are the things that I always like to look for.
Now, is everybody going to be certified on the boat?
No, we'll probably only have 6 operators or so. The problem with the last boat is we probably had some people that shouldn't have been certified.
Gotcha.
But we need to run it like a program. The problem is we're a small department.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of manpower to spare, so we're always pulling off patrol to staff the boat. But that's a huge service population for us. Cedar Island, we have 1,100 boat slips. We have a huge transient boating population in the summer. We have all of the beach associations along the water that come in for the summer for the most part, and they're paying a lot of taxes, and they want to see some enforcement. They want to make sure that they know they're safe and they have something out there. So it's really an important piece for us, and it's a very large service population for us to serve. So we work hard at trying to get out, especially when the main boating times are on the weekends, to ensure that it's safe out there for everybody. Because now, with the huge rise in personal watercraft, that's becoming problematic too. So it's really not only just an enforcement thing, it's a safety thing. You have a lot of kayakers, a lot of paddleboarders that are mixing with, power boaters and sailors. They may not know the rules of navigation, they may not know right-of-ways, they may not know signage, and a lot of times, unfortunately, they don't understand how quickly conditions can change in Long Island Sound. Most people think it's like a big bathtub, but it's not. It's dangerous. You can run up 5-6 foot swells in a real hurry, and if you're going to be going out in some of the months in the spring or in the fall, that water gets very, very cold very quickly. You can get hypothermic. It's quite dangerous.
Yeah, that's not going to be a good thing. From what I'm looking at from some notes for tonight, let's also talk about car seat safety.
Car seat safety is another program that we started. It's been underway now for about a year and a half, and one of the big benefactors for us on that is the Catholic Charities of Diocese of Norwich. They donate a lot of money for us for car seats, and again, I'm proud of this program because it's a ground up program. My job as a police executive is to kind of understand what the community needs, what we can offer, and if we make decisions one way or another, how is it going to affect us downstream?
Correct.
The actual nuts and bolts of how it should work and the programs that need to come up and the answers that are really there to address the problems that we're facing now come from the ground up. And you have to encourage that from people. So that's what I always tell my people. I want you to be problem solvers. I don't want you to just be rolling, bureaucrats that go out and take somebody's name at an incident and their phone number. I want you to actually give us, let's work on a solution. So one of my officers would come to me and he said, "Hey, Chief, listen, you know what? We pull over a lot of these cars and the kids aren't in car seats and you can tell the people don't have any money." And he goes, "If I write them a ticket for it, then what? Now they don't have money to pay the ticket, they're going to get their license suspended, and next thing you know, it's just a downward spiral." He goes, "Is there any way that maybe we could get some car seats, and if we have somebody that we see that really is in need, we'd be able to give that to them?" I said, "You know what? Why don't we just do that one better?" That's a great idea. So yeah, let's start putting this together. But why don't we also we'll get some people trained with NHTSA to actually be car seat technicians to install them. So we got that program started. We just did, during Safety Day, we had Safety Day at Clinton Crossing.
Yep.
It could have been renamed Monsoon Awareness Day, but
that's right.
we still had it anyway.
That was last weekend.
So I think this year we're up to close to 100 seats are already checked and installed. We do have a number of seats that we can give to people should their seats be recalled, if they're unable to afford a seat. And it's not just for people that don't, they can't afford the seats, it's just actually making sure they're installed properly too. So we encourage everybody to come in, have it properly checked. It's pretty sophisticated with car airbags now. You want to make sure that it's not going to interfere with the airbags and everything else.
Wow.
So there's a lot to it. There's quite a lot to it. So.
Now, you mentioned an acronym that I'm not familiar with. You said NHTSA?
NHTSA, that's the National Highway Safety Administration.
Okay.
So my officers go to a 3-day certification course to put these things in right. And the problem, again, is if you have, multiple family members taking care of a small child because they have to work, and the parents have worked different shifts, and aunts and uncles and grandmas and grandpas and everybody are taking care of the kid. Usually what happens is they have one car seat and it gets put in everybody's car. Right. And after a while, it's not put in right, because once it's in, it really shouldn't come out. When you shake that car seat, the whole car should shake.
Exactly, which is a good thing.
We want to make sure it's safe. So again, proactive, right?
Right.
If we can get something done and prevent a crime from happening or prevent a tragedy from happening, that's more effective than we could ever hope to be on any response. Because in a response, listen, if we're coming out to make an arrest or to break something up, that's reactive. We don't want to be reactive. We want to be proactive. We want to be able to stop crimes from happening. We want to make sure that we're promoting safety and giving people the best possible chance they have to be safe.
Exactly. You guys sound like you've been busy.
Busy
couple months.
We never stop. We just started the RAD program, which is rape and aggression defense training.
Let's talk about that.
Which is a phenomenal program. It's just it teaches strategies on how to avoid being sexually assaulted, physically assaulted, how to get yourself out of these, strategies to use to get yourself out of these situations as you see them coming, and then even if to the point where if you are attacked, we give you some actual physical training on how to get yourself away from that situation and defend yourself. So it's really one of those empowering classes that builds self-confidence, and the participants really walk away feeling changed. So I'm very happy to have that, and we're doing it for all different age groups, all different demographics, men, women, seniors, juniors, younger kids, special needs. So we are really excited about having that program. And again, Sal DeMarco's one day,
Sure.
they gave us 2 days of half of their sales, allowing us to buy the equipment that we needed to do that. So a huge thank you to them.
Absolutely.
Just a great deli in town, and
Oh,
just
yeah.
very community-oriented people. We're more than happy to do that for us, and it really helped get the program off the ground. And it's going to be a great program. I can't wait to see us 3, 4, 5 years downstream. You get the same results as you would with the DARE. You see people now that are in their 30s and 40s. They come up and they're, hey, is Officer Lowry working? He was my DARE officer. So it's the same kind of thing.
Like I said, the DARE program's still alive and kicking.
Still alive and kicking.
All right.
Like I said, we got 2 new instructors going in. Corbin, Officer Corbin's going to continue on, but I think he's going to switch up now. He's going to go into Pearson to teach the elementary level, just to mix it up a little bit. He was doing the 7th graders, and then we'll have Officer Recchia and Officer Harkins will be trained up, and we're going to rotate those guys in and out of the mix as well.
Fair. Wow.
This radio thing is helping me talk
I
a
was
lot.
going to say, you keep
we
talking.
blew right through a show, and it was like we didn't even get started.
I was going to say, we still got some time. So what else? Narcan?
Narcan, that program's still going strong, and I got to tell you, unfortunately, we've had, I think, 6 fatal overdoses in Clinton already this year, which is just tragic. But I think that number would be 4 times higher if we didn't have the Narcan, and the epidemic that's hitting, not only Connecticut but nationwide, really hitting us hard here in New England. So without that Narcan, I think the death toll would be dramatically higher, which is,
You know what?
we're done.
You're right. The radio gig did help you. We're out of here.
All right, we're done.
See ya.
Thanks again.
On behalf of Vince DeMaio, I'm Pete Mezzetti. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.